I wasn't going to make a video today since we're upon Thanksgiving and we all have better things to do than think about the troubles of the world, but I ran across an old video of mine from about 3 years back, and in it I was speculating that November 1st of 2025 could be the approximate time that we see the confirmation of the covenant with many. And I based that on news reports of the asteroid Apophis, which is going to have a close encounter with Earth in 2029, April 13th, 2029 to be more precise. And what I did was take that date of April 13th, 2029, and subtracted 3.5 years from it to see if that could give us an approximate idea of when the covenant with many would be confirmed. So here's a replay of that video. If you already seen it, I apologize for wasting your time. But if you have any thoughts on Asteroid Apophis or the covenant with many possibly being confirmed 1 year from now, approximately, let me know in the comments below. Thanks for listening. I hope you have a good Thanksgiving, and here is that video. I want to spend just a couple of minutes talking about the asteroid Apophis, which, as many of us already know, is scheduled to pass very close to the Earth in April of 2029. Now, this is old news, of course, as the asteroid itself was discovered back in 2004. Today, we can find thousands of videos on YouTube about Apophis, ranging from a scientific evaluation of the asteroid all the way to the most apocalyptic scenarios. Many of the videos that deal with it from a Bible prophecy perspective tend to tie it into Revelation 8, which describes the 7 angels and 7 seals. And when you read these verses in Revelation 8, it sure sounds like it could be an asteroid hitting the Earth. Verse 8 describes a great mountain burning with fire being cast into the sea. Verse 10 states that a great star fell from heaven. And verse 11 names that star as wormwood, meaning that much of the water on Earth becomes bitter and even poisonous. In the last few years, there have been numerous scientific studies of this asteroid, and they all reached the same conclusion. Apophis will not hit the Earth in 2029. Having said that, there are a couple of strange coincidences about this asteroid. First, according to NASA's own website, Apophis is named for the demon serpent who personified evil and chaos in ancient Egyptian mythology. Just the fact that this was named after a demon serpent was enough for me to take notice. Second, the number of this asteroid is 99942, which of course has an upside down 666 in it. Not that an upside down 666 proves anything, but it is odd to see such a number attached to an asteroid that's also named after a demon serpent. Third, Apophis is scheduled to pass less than 20,000 miles from Earth on April 13th, 2029, which of course is a Friday. So we have an asteroid named after a demon serpent, numbered with an upside down 666, and scheduled to come very close to Earth on Friday the 13th. All of that is strange, but it doesn't really mean anything. There have been many coincidences like this before and all kinds of things. In fact, knowing that the asteroid won't hit the Earth almost makes this coincidence seem a bit funny. Almost. There are a number of people speculating that NASA and governments around the world are actually covering up for the fact that they know Apophis will strike the Earth in 2029. Such an impact would be the equivalent to all the nuclear weapons on Earth exploding at once and in the same place. Now, as some of you know, my channel is not big on conspiracy theories. I tend to lean toward a more rational evaluation of things I see and not get too far down the rabbit hole with wild speculation. However, to be honest, this seems to be a bit different. I'm not sure if NASA and governments are actually hiding the truth from us, in so much as it's just a matter of them being wrong about the asteroid not hitting Earth. I'm leaning towards something happening with Apophis that changes the trajectory ever so slightly that it does end up hitting the planet. As it stands now, the asteroid is projected to be within 20,000 miles, and that distance is within the orbit of many of our satellites. In fact, satellite operators have what's called graveyard orbits of up to 22,000 miles or more, where they send some dying or malfunctioning satellites. According to NASA, 2 two things can happen to old satellites. For the closer satellites, engineers will use its last bit of fuel to slow it down so it will fall out of orbit and burn up in the atmosphere. Further satellites are instead sent even farther away from Earth. Hitting the space junk could certainly redirect Apophis ever so slightly, or even break it into a couple of smaller fragments that head down toward Earth. If that actually happens, then everything we read about in Revelation 8 would be spot on. Speculating on that possibility, it made me wonder what would be going on here on Earth approximately 3.5 years before April 13th, 2029. That would place us at approximately November 1st, 2025. On that date, November 1st, 2025, I believe that Donald Trump will be just shy of 1 year into his second term. And around that time, I also expect many more nations to join the Abraham Accords, an official confirmation of Trump's deal of the century. Thus, we have the beginning of the covenant with many. Now, I'm aware that some of you think that we're already well into the tribulation, and you are convinced that it started back in 2017. We'll have to agree to disagree on this one, but I do think we're rapidly approaching that time. And if nothing else, it seems odd that 3.5 years before Apophis will come extraordinarily close to planet Earth, we could potentially have the official confirmation of the covenant with many. That's all for today. Thanks for taking a few moments to watch this video, and I'll talk to you guys soon.